today we've invited John Lapointe of Lapointe Insurance to talk with us about the 5 types of water damage and to see if you can actually get coverage or if you're covered with it with your insurance company.
First and foremost, we talk about this on the show a lot. We've talked about this with clients in particular too, but flood is something that is a huge insurance question that comes up. Maybe people are buying a house, flood, is it in a flood zone? Is it not in a flood zone? But it's important to know that flood damage to your home is not covered by homeowners insurance. Floods, the most literal sense of the word, flood, like water comes in from the ground from excessive rainfall or from, the ocean or a stream or river nearby that overflows and causes damage to your home. Flooding in that sense of the word is not covered by home insurance ever. You'd need flood insurance to protect yourself for that. And that's why there's a whole separate side of insurance when it comes to flood, and flood insurance is a separate policy that you'd need to obtain if you're in a high risk flood zone and your lender's going to require it. But flood damage never covered by home insurance, but you can get coverage through a separate flood insurance policy. The next type of water damage that's sort of similar to flood is groundwater. So if water comes into your home at or below the ground level, you may consider that to be flooding, but it's not always defined as flooding. Groundwater also not covered by home insurance. This is something that home insurance policies do not cover under their standard form. So the ground is wet, at the end of the day, especially if we're in New England where homes have basements and that's how we build our foundations. The ground is wet, after periods of rainfall or maybe months of rainfall, the water table gets to where it is and the ground just kind of maintains a certain level of moisture. And now if your basement has cracks in it, or maybe it's just settled over many years, that's where water's going to go. It follows the laws of gravity. If you got those cracks in your foundation or you have issues with that high water table, it's your responsibility as a homeowner to do things to make sure that your basement's going to stay dry, because insurance is going to have little to no remedy for that sort of damage to your home. So that could be waterproofing the basement, could be installing French drain systems, could be installing a sub pump, which brings me to the next one. Sump pump failure is covered by home insurance by endorsement. So you can add an additional coverage to your policy that will cover you in the event that you have a sub pump in your basement. You put that sub pump in there to keep your basement dry. So you did your part. You did your part as the homeowner, putting that sub pump in there. But now that sub pump failed, or it just didn't turn on because the electricity went out, or maybe there's just way too much water and it couldn't handle it. It only pumps at a certain rate and there's just way too much water. If you have that endorsement on your policy for sub pump failure, and then you have that groundwater issue because the sub pump failed, there is coverage for that. Sewer backups. So if water backs up into the home through a sewer drain, this is covered again by endorsement. So it automatically is not included on our home insurance policy. It's not something that if water backs up through a toilet or drain in your house, your policy will not automatically cover it unless you have an endorsement. And it's the same endorsement that covers you for sub pump overflow or sub pump backup or failure. So that same endorsement will also cover you in the event that sewage or septic backs up into your house through a drain or toilet, things like that. The last one, number 5, this is one of the most common things we see, broken pipes. So not to be confused with sewer backups, a broken pipe. So actual, failure in the plumbing's pipe itself. So a discharge from that pipe, whether it burst because it froze or because it was just faulty and over years kind of corroded or something like that. If there's a discharge from plumbing, it is most often covered by home insurance. And in most cases, I would say 99% of the policies that we write do cover this type of water damage. Now, it's going to be something that you're just going to want to double check